Hi all, how are you going? Welcome with me, Redsky, on another round of Righteous Readings. We are continuing now, sorry about that brief pause, with the rest of the signs for April's bonus for the singles. Venus, Sun, Moon and Rising placements. We are up to the next sign. Sagittarius, my beautiful archers, thank you for being so patient, as now we will do your April bonus for the singles. So as always, my darlings, we will be looking at the 6 aspects of the single Saggie's life, and we will be doing that for April 2022, which is all the very, very best. As I said, even though this is a singles reading, it is primarily looking at love for you guys. So it is a love reading, so keep that in mind. But as I always say to you, my beauties, have a look at all your big 4. They are all important. Get your Venus first. And I would go rising, moon and sun sign. Okay, that's just what I do. Sagittarius, please, spirits and guides. Venus, sun, moon and rising. Thank you. Oh, wow, babies. The Almighty came out. I'm hearing that. Just breathe. And I think you're going to need to try to breathe, my darlings. Sagittarius. A lot surprised me. And then when I turned and saw that bottom of the deck, underlying energy for your whole month of April is Gemini's major arcana, the Lovers. That of true connection. The Lovers is the card of putting it all down, putting it all on the line for this profane love. It's believing it can be all and every. This is just in awe of it. It's quite amazing. And a lot shocked me before that. Single Saggies. Coming into April, your first placement reflects that of work. So what you do for a crust, for a living, you know, what does work look like for April? Major arcana here, the Tower. Massive change. Whole systems, structures, foundations coming down here. Everything that gave you maybe security, something that had been longevity, maybe this is something that you're, I don't like using this word, this language, but like an old hand, but basically someone very experienced in doing something. And this could be something quite minimal. But this is that feeling, not just in work, but maybe even in like it bleeding through other aspects of life, because how can it not? This is massive breakdowns. This is leveling up beyond foundation. I see that this is beneficial for you. This isn't, you know, like why, oh, woe's me. This isn't without pain. This isn't without struggle either. Because there is a lot of that. But what I'm trying to say to you is when you get on the other side of it, once you've gone through these stages, these motions, this process, because it is a huge process. And you get through the thick of that mud of all that issue, you'll look back and be like, that was a savior moment, not a sacrificial moment of my life, if you kind of get what I mean. This I feel is like not the divine coming in to, you know, level you and make it a mess for spite. It's to help you to get where you need to be. I feel like this is a reflection of past readings we've done, actually, Sagittarius, in this work position. But there is massive shift coming here in April. Let's move forward now, though. Your next card reflects your ambitions, therefore, for the month of April 2022. We now have that Eight of Pentacles reverse come through. Your ambitions are lacking in wanting to put too much more skill or development in anything right now. And it would make sense, especially if you're championizing work or making that such a big asset leading up to here. With this Tower moment, I feel like this is a reflection now of that in your ambitions. There's a sense of pulling back here massively, not putting in any skill here through any ambitional state at the moment. I feel that your investment is needed elsewhere, and we're going to see exactly where that is shortly. Your next position is friendship connections. Another major arcana coming through here. Cancer's major arcana. The Chariot inverted though. With friendship connections, there's going to be a bit of a cancellations of plans during April. And I feel like they're going to come multiple and through and through. It's going to almost seem a little too consistent for you, Sagittarius. I don't mean to put it bluntly, but this is really going to be the sense of they had the opportunity in their hand and they let it, it slipped. Like sand through the hands, like I always explain it. But this is so much more to you. This is really the pin for some relationships, friendships in your life, connections. This is just one too many times for you of a letdown on things not being congruent, consistent in what you would give or how you would go about things. It's that sense of leveling up or off with your head. And you're not being bad about it, like you're not being cutthroat like that about it, but it is that definitive to you at this point, I feel, in April. Love. Saggy singles. Ace of Cups reverse. Love is a sense of it's still eroding, or there's just this sense of not having anything tangible, I want to say. You want happiness, but you can't at the moment find anything to cling it to. Nothing that would be worthy. You feel everything the cup would just spill out. It wouldn't hold no water, if you understand what I mean. It'd be like a holy cup. It would pour straight through. You want it so bad to have that beginning of the right connection. You have good connections, I feel. It's not about that. It's about the it one. The beginning of the seed one that would just grow. I'm not feeling that. Feeling like there's just family connections for the Saggy singles. Family connections for the month of April. Another major arcana. It is the High Priestess. Ooh. With family, there is a real sense, Saggy, that we are getting down into a real wisdom-like state. Now, as you know, we've had massive astrological stuff going on at the beginning of April, which has happened now. The moon cycles. The High Priestess is atonement to the moon cycles and how that plays about through its processes throughout the month. I feel like family, this is very much an atonement to the end of the month, somewhere after Easter period. I feel like there's a real sense of some sort of togetherness with family, getting on the same page, being seen as equal or more than, being seen as the one with the wisdom, the proper balance, judgment, light, shadow, but also being able to keep a secret back. I feel like something is going to be gifted to you, or you're going to find out something very important whether it is actually a secret itself or being let in on the inner circle of how hierarchy of the family may operate. Like it's like being gifted the reins in decision making, in this higher intuitive power that you may not have been gifted or granted before, or finding out something that has been very much a mystery and being able to carry that on like you never heard it, locking that down. For some of you with family, I also want to say there's a real sense of, how can I put it, like, because there's a real sense here of self-reliance here, not needing anything else here, that you've got the sound judgment, you've got the real common sense here, you've got a real sense of objectivity, you know what I mean, and emotionlessness from the issue. You've got a great sense of foresight and intuition when it comes to these matters, I want to say, an asset. We now move on to the final placement, my dear Saggy singles, and we're now looking at health for the month of April. And we pulled the Page of Wands reversed. It's a bit of indecision or reluctancy, I want to say, around health. A bit of instability around really putting too much towards this as well. But I do see that there is someone bearing a little bit of bad tidings in regards to health. I feel like this is going to be something very minuscule or very small, like office talk. Someone's going to say maybe you put on a couple of kilos or something. Just love it when people say, have you put on 5? I'll show you 5. Never punched anyone for that. No one would dare say that to me, because earthquakes would move less forcefully than my movement in that moment. But I'm seeing here some sort of playful banter, I want to say, might come out in April around especially the holiday period, where someone might say, well, you've sort of done something different. But I feel, Sagittarius, it's going to sort of hurt you a little bit. You're going to take it in a bit of a different manner. It's sort of going to be like, It's just a bit of a sense here of getting a bit of a wounded heart sort of thing. Getting a little bit hurt underneath the skin, I want to say, in regards to health. But I don't feel at all in any regard that this is in regards to you falling in any way health ill, because it's very much more of an outsider's saying something, which is in regards to not necessarily health itself, but how you're looking, smelling. Something very simple-ish. Just the fact you've changed. And I think that is enough to, whoa, Saggy, just sort of, hang on a minute. You say, Because underneath it all, the month, I feel like the lovers is what you want. You want equal companionship. You want that so badly, Sagittarius. You really want equal fulfillment. You want to get on the same page with another individual. And you want a relationship. You want that partnership. You want it more than anything else. You're so, I want to say, pretty anxiety written about it. It's like you really want something so bad. And you feel you're at your right time to have it. It's just you can't seem to be able to obtain it at the moment, because maybe due to lack of option, because as I said, in the love position, we've got that Ace of Cups reversed. I just feel for you, Saggy, that there is just this very deep sense of an unrequitedness in regards to love, but we want it so badly. So much inconsistency from what we want, what we got, and what we're going to deal with. Love, the world. Underneath that, the star for Saggy. Look, I'm going to call it to you like it is. This is a lot of major arcanas here, Sagittarius. April, I feel, is like beyond the turning point here. The world, firstly, is that. The world turned and it went through its perfect cycle, and that is the sign of the completion of it, coming back to the end and reaping all the benefit from that, its completion, its perfect cycle. Now, the world does not say that, the world's turned and there wasn't any issue or earthquakes or thunderstorms during that process, because, yes, there was. But we have made it through its completion now. And now we celebrate that fulfillment that we so deserve for the job and process complete. It's the rewards that come from that. It's admiration of others. It's triumph in these undertakings. It's the whole process of it. And back in that big ass baby is the star. All of our hopes, dreams, our desires, Aquarius's major arcana also. But the star is all of that. It's even the astrological influence of the stars itself. And it's the bright prospects that we bring forth, excuse me, through that optimism, through that insight of hope, of dreams, of spiritual love. And through that balance, through that proper balance, I should say, we find we have the right amount of desire to work, to hope, to effort, to love, to expression, the perfect balances of these things. And through that we find absolute devotion and fulfillment. This is a massive Sagittarius month. Like, all of this over a 30-day period is massive. You're going to feel very, very energy exhausted, I want to say. I feel like once you get out of April into May, you're going to be like, oh man, I conquered many mountains, but I just became mightier. Honestly, for Saggy singles for the month of April, thank you, Spirit. Oh, boo, 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 boom. Aroused. Are we? I am excited and stimulated to act. Saggy singles, you are excited and stimulated to act. I feel you are, actually. You're very much in your fire element. You're very much pulling in that force of action, of superiority, of really manning up and grabbing it by its balls, you know what I mean? Really, balls to the wall, I want to say. You're not backing down, even through the mud of the thick of it. One more for Saggy singles, please, for April. Oh, that was the one. Ooh. Composed. I choose to be more calm in my life, particularly when I feel challenged. Indeed. There we go. I choose to be more calm in my life, particularly when I feel challenged. Composed. April. Saggy. Be composed. Well, under the skin, maybe being a little aroused. Wow. Beware of the Saggies, man. And one hell of an April month for singles anyway, my eyes. Let's find out the next sign. Cancer, my beautiful Cancerian crabs. How are you going? Venus placements here highly prevalent. Love reading primarily, even though this is a singles reading. We're looking at the 6 aspects of life. You all probably know the drill. Okay? So let's hit it and just get into it, and let's look at those 6 essential aspects of the single Cancer's life for April 2022, being a sun, moon and rising. Let's hit up the cards.